All right, well, yesterday was a pretty wacky day of price action. It's not often that you see a almost 10% pump to the upside, followed by an almost 10% dump to the downside, and then, it's just kind of rebound and hang around in the middle of this move. Yeah, definitely some wacky price action here. But I do overall think that right now things are looking, generally more bullish than they were when we were sitting down here. And the reason for that is basically what I talked about in my last video. Number one, we had gotten this daily SFP of what, I would consider to be the higher low. We had a high here, a higher low, and then we did put in a higher high, even though it was an SFP, but we then put in this higher low. So you could consider this the daily higher low, and we did SFP it. And I was saying that if we saw a 6-hour transition of structure here, that I would probably be more inclined to believe that this was a daily SFP. That would kind of give me confidence in the bullishness of us SFP in the daily higher low. And we have certainly gotten a 6-hour transition of structure here. I was looking at this as the last lower high on the 6-hour because we had low, high, lower low, and then we broke structure. Pretty obviously, we closed above it, and since then we have technically come down to put in a higher low. It's not confirmed yet because we did not take out the high, so if we come up to take out this high, this will be a confirmed higher low. But we did get this massive move to the downside, and we did not break the 6-hour low. So technically that 6-hour transition of structure is still valid. And once we put in this higher low, we got a quick move back up towards the highs of the range. And right now we are sitting above the value area high. So overall, I think with the daily SFP and the 6-hour transition of structure, this is bullish as of right now. And kind of makes me think that we have a decent likelihood of coming up to put in a new 6-hour high, and also potentially coming up to put in a new daily high because we did SFP the last high or low. That often shows weakness in what was an attempt at a downtrend here. It shows that the downtrend was a failure. So I now think it's more likely that we will continue the daily uptrend and at some point put in a new higher high. Now, obviously, things can change. Just because we wicked the last high or low doesn't necessarily mean we have to come up to put in a new high, but it does make it more likely. And I think the 6-hour transition of structure back to bullish also helps that case. And just looking at market Cipher quick, we are right now getting a nice little daily trigger wave here to this anchor wave with money flow trending up. Not the strongest uptrend, not the best. We do see good curvature here, but it's not the strongest money flow. You definitely like to see something more like this where it comes deep in the red and then really starts curving to the upside. But you could say that we still have good direction from those waves back here. And overall, the money flow is increasing, and seems like momentum is as well. We can go down to the 12-hour, and it's a bit iffy at this point. Money flow came down into the red and is actually looking decently good right now. It came down, just peaked into the red, and now is kind of getting an aggressive move to the upside. This money flow is not really showing signs of weakness very locally at this moment. It's just kind of on an upward trend here, but the VWAP coming up sharply and then clipping off like that isn't looking the best. And you do see this trend of decreasing money flow on the 12-hour, so that also isn't looking the best. And the 4-hour is looking pretty good. The money flow came pretty deep in the red and now is aggressively turning back to the upside. That is a nice curvature right there when money flow came deep in the red. Also, you see good direction here with the momentum waves. And we even got, I don't know what you call this, but we got the divergence on the 4-hour with this momentum wave. And then we got a trigger wave following it, basically continuing that direction with the momentum as we put in a higher low. So this is something that I like seeing, when we get a divergence and then we get that trigger wave following and the money flow really starts to curve around. I would say this 4 hour is looking pretty good at this moment. And the 1 hour, we also saw divergences as we put in this low right here. And since then, momentum has continued increasing. The money flow has continued to put in higher highs. So not seeing anything that shows weakness on the 1 hour. You see good direction with money flow and momentum, and it seems like that direction is continuing. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'd say things are looking pretty good on Market Cipher. For my theory that we may continue putting in higher highs. Things are looking slightly bullish at this point. And I did say in my last Bitcoin video that if we saw this 6 hour transition of structure, that would significantly impact my bias. I did have a bearish bias, and I was essentially looking for lower highs and lower lows because we were in a downtrend, and I would get especially bearish if we started to lose this range and the daily higher lows that we have here, especially this one because, like I said, a lot of people may consider this the higher low. So that still kind of stands, if we start to lose this level, I will get a lot more bearish. But for right now, we did see that 6 hour transition of structure. Things on Market Cipher are looking pretty good. I'd say my bias at this moment is leaning more bullish. So let's go through some of my trading ideas. I'll start on the higher time frames, look at some of the more macro levels, and then go into some of the more local stuff. But for resistance right now, the first level I'm watching is going to be right above this high that we put in. This is a zone I've been watching for a while. It is an untapped weekly, an untapped daily, a 786, and a downtrend POC. That's a level I talked about in one of my videos last week or this week. I don't remember when I posted it, but let's see. Yep, if you take a volume profile of this whole downtrend from the swing high to the swing low, the POC is right in there, and I'll turn on my weekly and daily folders. We got really nice confluence with that weekly. The point of control is right on top of it, and we could potentially SFP this high into that level, and that's basically what I would be looking for here. Another idea would be getting above this level, making a run for these highs, which I think we will have more liquidity above, and potentially SFPing that maybe into the downtrend value area high that we have right here, or just SFPing these. I'd basically be watching those highs, looking for decreases of open interest, and for us to reclaim those levels after we break above them. I also do like this NDPOC because it is above this value area high, so potentially we deviate the value area high, tap off the NDPOC, and then fall back down below the value area high. That is another idea, and you could potentially just trade this downtrend range and target the point of control from here, target that weekly. That's not great risk reward actually. Maybe you can look for a more aggressive entry. It would depend on the confirmations I see there, but even if you're targeting lower, maybe you're targeting these highs, it still would give me more confidence to see price lose this value area high after rejecting off that NDPOC, so I may want to wait for that before I consider trading that. And I do have a 24-minute order block marked out around the highs. If I go to the 24-minute time frame, this blue candle in between these two purples, I like the fact that the purple candle to the left was the high, and then the purple candle to the right came down to eventually break structure. So this is looking like a good order block. I don't know how confident I would be in taking a trade off of it just because it is so close to the high. There's a decent chance that we just blow through it and go straight for the high, and maybe we SFP the high. Maybe we continue pumping up, but I'll be aware of this, and I do have an alert set, I guess, in the middle of this order block. I might want to move that down a little bit, but I'll be watching that. If we see clear confirmations there, then it's something I would consider trading. And then after that, I would be looking at the significant resistance we have above us. So that would be these untapped daily levels up here. We got an alert going off, so let's actually go ahead and see what's going on there. Looks like Bitcoin's pumping a little bit, and it looks like we are approaching a local trade idea I was looking at. So yeah, basically above us I'd be looking at those daily levels and the other resistance we have in that consolidation range from way back when. Yeah, I might go over that a bit more later, but for right now, we are approaching this local high. This is a trade idea I was looking at. It's above the value area high as well. So let's see if we see a large decrease of open interest as we take out that high. And, oh, yeah, it looks like we do see a massive decrease of open interest there. This is a very violent move, though. Doesn't look like we have many divergences here. We do have potential for 6-minute divergences, though. Money flow is not looking great for a short, though. It is putting in higher highs. I don't necessarily like that. Low time frame money flow, there's potential there. We could put in a lower high. It is, very locally looking pretty strong. We got nice curvature, and now it's aggressively moving to the upside. But we could still, put in a lower high, something like that. So I may want to wait for a 3-minute close here. Because just based off of the money flow, it seems like there's a decent chance that we just do something like this. Fake out SFP, then break out, wreck everybody shorting. That's kind of what I think when I see low time frame money flow continuing to increase as we put in, or as we get an SFP. But I might trade it if we see 3-minute close. And this was a pretty massive decrease of OI here. Let's actually zoom out and see. Yeah, it was still a big decrease. That was the biggest decrease in OI we've seen in quite a while. So that is significant for sure. And another thing I could do for a better entry, if we're not going to just dump from here, we could wait for a golden pocket retest, maybe look for absorption if we're going to move into there. And I think I'd probably rather do that because I'm still not entirely confident on these low time frame confirmations. This 2-minute is looking pretty strong. Let's see, are we getting that 6-minute divergence? It's getting close. It's getting close. We might not get a div here. So if we see that GP retest and we see absorption, I will be more confident in that. But yeah, it is just a local scalp idea. And if I'm not feeling super confident in it, then I'm not going to take it. He, literally just got to move up here in basically one candle too, so it's not like we can look for a transition of structure here. The last, 2-minute high or low is right here, and that is not a trade idea I'm looking to take. Something like that. So, yeah, it seems like we're just dumping from here. Yeah, I might wait and see if we do something like this. Maybe come down, get a GP retest. And if not, then that's alright. But yeah, that was one of my scalp trade ideas right there. Another one is below us, around the value area low of this range. We got an NDPOC here. We got, is this daily open, was that yesterday's daily open, or is that today? That was yesterday's daily open. So today's daily open is a little bit higher. But yeah, I'm watching this area. There's also a 30-minute order block right in this zone. It's, yeah, you could say this is like a better 24-minute order block going off the way that I mark them out. But on the 30-minute, we just kind of had this one purple candle. It marked the bottom, and then from there we came up to break structure. No blue candle to the left, but still I've been trying out marking out order blocks this way. Not really caring if there's a blue candle to the left of it. And we do have a larger 30-minute order block. Pretty much the same thing, no blue candle to the left, but it marked a bottom, and then price came up to, we didn't really break structure because there was no structure to break on this, move to the downside. It was just down, but I got it marked out anyway. And the PD value area low down here is an area I'd be specifically interested in. I do have another level somewhere around here. It is in my secret level folder, so unfortunately I can't share it, but know that somewhere around this area is another level I'm specifically watching. And this little doodle here is about what I would want to see. Us kind of come down, struggle to make lower lows, and then see a break of structure and possibly get in on a retest. And I mean, those are pretty much my local trading ideas. To the downside, I already went over my more macro support in a previous video, so there's not much to talk about there. But yeah, right now, I mean, I would prefer if we continued moving up, maybe got to move up to some of these key resistances. There isn't as much juice below us, I would say, unless we're going to get a move all the way back down to the value area low, to the point of control. Yeah, there's not too much to the downside that I would be interested in. Maybe you could look at this point of control and this value area low. It's also previous resistance, previous support right here. So yeah, that is an area I would potentially watch. I bet there's a fib level of some kind, maybe a 786 right in there as well. Golden pocket, okay. Yeah, so that's looking like, maybe a scalp idea right there. Let's actually turn on my local folders. Is that confluence with another level? Yeah, it looks like it's the top of this 30-minute order block. So, yeah, that kind of complicates things because, I got one area I'm looking for right here, and then another area directly below that, and then another area directly below that. I don't like when my supports are so close together because, there's a chance that we just run through all of these. But, I'd still be aware of those levels. But, yeah, anyways, that is about it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. And I will see you all in the next one.